the
Mhm.
oh, okay. All right. So, well, as you can see, my name is Rajeshwari Desai, and I have cleared my B2. And I used to teach at Alliance only. So I've been teaching French for like 2.5 years. And by profession, I'm an advocate, but I like French was always my passion. So I never like practiced. Of course, I got the degree and stuff, but I never practiced in a court. Um, what else? So yes, I have come here since September, and well, before like starting, I'll just tell you the criterias that you like the criterias that need to be met with to do this program. So you need your DELF B1 to come here. I mean, as an assistant of English. Then you need to take an IELTS exam, and you need to have a score above 7.5 bands. If it's 7.5, it works as well, but the more the better. And yeah, I think these are the two criterias, and you have to be a student in a recognized government recognized institute. So for example, wherever you are studying in your college or anywhere, that works as a certificate that you are a student. So these are the criterias. And so basically for this program, you have to teach to the kids in school. So either you get primary school kids or secondary. So I'll also, Khushali, if you feel like I'm mistaken somewhere, you can please do correct me. Okay.
No, you're
uh,
correct. You're correct. But it can go up till the lycée level. So there are 4 levels. So one of my friends previously got in a maternal school, école maternelle. That is for kids. Then you can get in Premier, école
hmm.
Premier. That is also a possibility. Post that you can get in a college, and you can also get in a lycée. I got in a lycée last year.
Yeah,
So that.
Kushali and Rajeshwari, explain what is college and lycée for students of A1 because they have not learned college and
Yeah.
lycée.
Lycée is high school basically. That is, they don't go by standards; they go by the age. So, lycée will consist of students of around 15 to 17 years or 18 years, and college is a little younger than them. That is till 16
It
years
is.
of age, from 13 to 16 kind of a criteria.
Yes. So French education system is a bit different than the Indian education system. Here, like we have primary school, and first standard, second standard, third standard, and so on. They have it in reverse. So it goes with like it starts with maternelle, then you go with toute petite section, CM1, CM2, CM1, CM2. All these are like in the maternal school. Then, so for example, the kids who are like 10, 11 years old, they are actually in CZM, which is like sixth. And then they go to college, which would be like fifth, fourth, third, and then terminal and baccalaureate. So like she said that it's middle school, then high school. Of course, if we just try to categorize as Indian education system, so lycée is high school, college could be somewhere near middle school if you want to just name it. So it's completely in reverse manner. So I am teaching in a primary school. So in the form, like when I was supposed to fill the form, I had not specified any établissement, if you can call it. Like if you want to teach in secondaire, like secondary or primary, I did not specify that. I kept it indifferent, and I got primary. So I get to teach the kids of like 2 3 years old up to 11 years old, so which is really nice. Well, there is less workload, of course, but then you have to think of a lot of creative ideas because they are so small. The cute little kids, they hardly understand what we speak in English. So mainly you have to show a lot of videos and the songs and everything. So just like it's very, if you don't want to feel like tired or burdened, go for primary, because the moment you'll see those small kids, it'll give you a smile on your face for sure. They are so cute. But yeah, so I am basically teaching them the base of the English. So the days of the week or the numbers, and simultaneously I also have to tell them about our culture. So recently there was this festival of Holi in India. So I showed them the videos of Holi. Unfortunately, like we don't have a proper real song for Holi, so I just showed them Balam Pichkari. um yeah, so they were amazed by it. They started dancing and they were just like, we want to go to India for our trip. And I also showed them the videos of Navratri. When I came here, it was Navratri in India, so I showed all those festivals. And you make small presentations or you show them videos and they love it. So this is what I do in primary school basically. So I plan games for them. And normally it's like bingo or some games where they are, just make them play games and they'll be the happiest. So technically it doesn't feel like you're working, it's fun. um, Plus primary has one benefit for you. I mean, if you see personal benefit, they hardly understand like full sentences in English, so you technically have to speak in French with them. So what is helpful for you is that you talk in French. There's always a teacher in the class who will be there to correct you, or who will be there to guide you if you're stuck somewhere. So that will help you to improve your French speaking skills. So I remember in the cesium, where the kids are like 10, 11 years old. Every Tuesday, so I'll come to the schedule and everything. But every Tuesday, it's we have to, like, I have to do a presentation on Indian culture festival or something. So either it's about Indian gods or Indian festivals, Indian food, Indian clothes, mythology and everything. And they love to hear about it, especially when they see those photos. And they're like, and the expressions that you see, like, wow, c'est incroyable. And it's I can't describe it. You have to see it for yourself. So what happens is I have PPT. I show everything like I have written everything in English. But what helps me the most is that I have to kind of talk in French with them. So I have been, if you like, some of you are in just A1, but for example, those who are in A2, B1, B2, you know that you have to do presentations for like 5 to 10 minutes for your DELF exams, right? So that's already, you have something, you have your notes and you are talking. So it actually prepares you for all the speaking presentations that you're supposed to do. And since you are doing it in front of a French audience, when you take an exam, it'll be more easier for you. You'll not be intimidated by the jury, if we say. So that's the biggest benefit. Apart from that, during the break time, sorry, you had a question, maybe, Ritvik?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
couldn't see also.
During the break times, like lunch breaks, you get to sit with your colleagues, like who are obviously French teachers. So when you're sitting with them, you're talking to them. And normally the lunch is provided, like you have to pay, but then the lunch is normally provided by the school. So you get to taste French cuisine. And if you are a non-vegetarian, then it's great for you because you'll get a lot of choices. If you're a vegetarian, I'd say it will be difficult, and especially it would be easier for you if you're eating eggs. But yeah, so there are some issues with like food choices and etc. But you get to taste, like I see in their menu every day they have different kind of cheese. So well, for me it's bad because I'm not a fan of cheese. But if you really love cheese, you get to taste like new cheese every day. So you are exposed to like French cuisine, French culture, and especially like you, this period from September to April, you are here during Christmas. So Christmas, Halloween, and all the other festivals that you get to see, they are fond of Christmas. They love celebrating it. You will see it in the air from November. All the schools will be, especially in primary, you will see that people like teachers will make their kids to make some art artsy objects and stuff right from November. So technically from November to December 25th, actually the vacation starts by 16th. But yeah, you will technically not work. This, I'm not saying it in a way that this is like a fun leisure trip, but it is kind of a paid vacation if you see. So also I'll come to the vacation part, which is the most interesting part. But so from November onwards, you are just making them do some activities about Christmas. They are making those Christmas like Santa Claus and everything. They are making it in from cardboards and stuff. You just have to instruct them in English, teach them that, okay, when I say draw, that means dessiner. So, well, it's just that. So this is really the most interesting part, because in India, like we do celebrate Christmas, but it's in our, like we celebrate it in our own way. Maybe we meet on 24th or 25th and then we just eat somewhere. But here you get to see like how it happens in actual sense. Like November onwards, you'll see in every city the decorations will be put up. I live in a very small city, but even like so I live in Angoulême, which is in the southwest of France, in the Charente region. So initially, like I wasn't very happy with the city, but when I saw the Christmas decorations and when I saw the festive vibe of the city, I was blown away. Like you see in the downtown, there are like those how do I say, they put up those snowmans and everything. Like all the streets are lit up with the lights, fairy lights, and it's a different vibe. There are discounts everywhere, so you get to shop. If you are a shopaholic like me, you'll love it. So it's just a new vibe, like how we have it in Diwali in India. Like everything is lit up, it's exactly the same, and that you should definitely witness. And there are, oh yes, there are marché de Noël, which are like Christmas markets. So if you are like fan of wine and stuff, you get to have like hot wine, hot beer and everything, red wine. So that's also a plus. Like you won't get that in India. So you get to taste different wines, especially if you are in the Bordeaux region. Like in Bordeaux, you'll get to you'll often attend wine tasting events, and it'll be like just great. So this is about the festivals and how it, like, how it boosts your mood even if you are alone here. If I talk about like work, normally it's not that hectic, especially when if you've already worked in India. I'm sure this work, like, so you have to work only 12 hours a week, so which is technically nothing. If we see, like, I remember there was a time where I used to work 10 hours a day in India, 10 to 12 hours, and here I am working just 12 hours a week. So initially I had a lot of free time, so I was traveling everywhere, but that then cost me a lot, so I stopped. But yeah, that would be a huge change for you. So make sure that you have other activities to do. You have, like, if you are in a big city, then doesn't matter. Like went to Montpellier in one of the vacations, and in that city there are some cute cafes where you can go, and there are meetups for international students to improve your French. There are meetups, you can talk to them, and everything is just for free. It's organized by some associations, which, like, if you want to, it's like a charity thing. If you want to pay, you pay, otherwise you just meet new people, you socialize, you network. And well, that's the most important part of this séjour, this entire program. That's what I feel, because especially you are in touch with all the French people, so you get to know how they live, what's their lifestyle, what's their thinking process, everything. So you work, coming back to the point, you work 12 hours a week, and you have 4 vacations every month, like every 1.5 months. So the program starts in October. Your contract starts from 1st October So 1st to 16th October you teach, but normally the first few weeks are like your training sessions, or you don't have to teach much. You're just trying to understand how their system works. And then I think from 16th October till 30th October or so, you have vacations, 2 weeks vacation. It'll always be a 2 week long vacation where I think that's the time of Halloween. So you can, those 2 months, 2 weeks, you can travel, you can do whatever you can. It's just your free time. And the weather is also not that bad. It's not that cold, so you can still travel and everything. Then you start teaching in November, the whole month you teach. And but by the time you come to the school, by mid-November, November 1st, second week, again, as I said, there is this festive mood, Christmas and everything. So it doesn't, that period does not seem like very tiresome or hectic, because it's just festive vibes. So you teach till if I'm not wrong, 14th or 15th December, and then again you have 2 weeks of vacation, vacances de Noël. So until 3rd January or so, like from Monday, whatever the date might be according to the year. So New Year and Christmas are during vacation. And well, if your teachers are kind enough and if you have a good rapport, they may invite you to their place for Christmas gatherings and dinners. Normally in France, Christmas is a family event. So here we celebrated, I mean, here in the sense in India, we celebrated it with friends, and we just go out. But for them, for the French, during these 2 weeks, they do not meet their friends. Like, I wouldn't say at all, but it's mainly family oriented event, festival. So if you get to go to spend it with one of your teachers, that would be great, because you will do all the rituals with them. You will get to know how it works, what they eat. They have specific lunch and dinner and rituals for Christmas, and you get to see that like in detail. You get to experience that. Then again, in January you start teaching. It's weird that once you come here, you also kind of become like them, where you feel tired even after working just 12 hours a week, because this has happened with me, and I was shocked, because I have heard sometimes when they say that, I think you'll learn gradually, that the French complain all the time. I initially I thought that it's just a stereotype, but I think it's true till some extent, because they have, so in my school the working days are only Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. Wednesday, when they need a break from first 2 days, they call it coupure, saying that Monday they come, they're like, c'est lundi, les blues de lundi. It starts by the end. Then Tuesday they come, by the lunchtime in Tuesday they are like, c'est fatigant, and it starts, it goes on. And Tuesday evening they're, demain c'est le congé, they'll be happy again. Then Thursday, Wednesday, the entire day they are free. They don't teach. Then Thursday, Friday they teach again, Saturday, Sunday again weekend. And that's how the week is divided. And so the longest period is from January to I think February vacations, because you start on 3rd or 4th January. So entire January you teach. So it's like 4 weeks and 2 weeks of February. So it's like 6 weeks of work, which is way too much for them apparently. So I don't know why. And now I also feel that, because when during January and February, I was literally, when you say khave, I was tired, because I was like, oh, 6 weeks, the 6 week long temps scolaire, like school time, and it's going to be tiresome. And I was complaining like them only. And then in February, so according to zones, so all the academies are divided according to the zones A, B and C. So first 2 vacations are same for all the zones, but the last 2 vacations, the dates change. So for my zone, which is in Poitiers, which is like Academy of Poitiers, my vacation started on 16th February and it ended on 28th February. So technically half the month of February I was traveling, um, and just doing nothing at all. So that ended, and then again this last term, it was it is again very long, because you start from, I think, 1st or 2nd March till April. So yeah, 14th or
April
15th.
30.
Yeah, exactly. So mid-April you work, and then you have your last vacation, vacances de Pâques, Easter vacations. So the vacation in February are called winter vacations, because in February also it's like you see more daylight, but it's still cold. So that is also whenever you have questions, maybe we can deal the topic of cold back at that time, because I come from Ahmedabad, and for me, I can't bear the cold. So for me, it was very difficult, but we can come to that later. And then last 2 weeks, it's Easter vacation. So I think that was during those 2 weeks, you can travel anywhere if you want, and and then your contract ends on 30th April. So either you go back, or if you have like if you have a visa which is longer than your contract, then you can stay, explore. So like you see, you have basically, oh, I'm so sorry. You have basically 2, 4, 6, and 8 weeks of vacation. And if you like plan your budget like really well, you can cover a lot of countries. I'm so sorry.
If you, it's okay. You can, if you want to answer your phone, you can answer. I will ask them. It's okay. All right.
No, it's not important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rajeshwari, can you explain about the payment and about the logement, like?
Yes. So for your assistant salary, you will be, so your actual salary would be somewhere around 900 something euros.
164 euros.
Yeah. And after the tax and all the reductions, you get around 785 euros, but it may differ according to the academy by 3 to 4 euros, not more than that. So like, so my technically my salary is 785 euros, but then again, I am in Poitiers region, so this time there was inflation. So some people in some academies got 100 euros more. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but they got some 885 euros or something. So so you just have to consider 785 euros for all the hours worked. And for logement, so normally they say that if you select secondary, normally you get a logement as in housing by your high school or something. Your high school gives you the housing, but I think in some high schools it's free. In some high schools you have to pay the rent. So again, it depends on the city you are living in. So for example, where I live, my rent was 120 euros initially, and then it increased in January to 125. So technically 125 euros is nothing if you compare it to anyone living in Paris or in Montpellier or in Bordeaux, who pay like 200 or 300 euros for rent.
I used to pay 350 euros for housing.
Yeah, so that's like your half of your salary is gone in
Gone.
rent. Yeah, but again, there are some assistants who have really managed well per week, in the sense like salary per week, you mean? Ananya?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was asking if this the rent is 120
No, no.
euros per week or
No,
if
no,
it's
no,
per
no,
month?
no. Monthly rent.
Oh, okay.
No, touch wood, I was like really lucky. And I'll tell you something about CAF. So technically my rent is just 30 euros. I'll tell you how. So I pay 125, and then there is CAF. I'll just write it. You can research on your own as well. I'll just give you a brief idea about it. So CAF is like aide familial, which is a help, a monetary help that is given by the government you have to, again, you have to do a lot of paperwork and administrative work. So that is like really painful. But so you take, you fill up all the forms. If your housing is under the category of CAF, then it's fine, you will benefit from the help. So they make the decision, like they estimate the monetary help that you can get. So for me it was 90 to 93 euros, and I have to fill up all the forms, I have to give them the proof of where I'm living, the rent agreement and everything, and then they give me every month, I get 93 euros in my bank account. But again, this process is
It is
really
not
long and
applicable for everybody actually.
Yeah,
If your house
exactly.
doesn't come under that category, you have to pay and they won't pay you back.
Yeah. So as I said, it depends where you live and if your housing is considered for CAF or not. So since I live, so my workplace is in Konyak, which is, I think, 1.5 hours away, like 50-60 kilometers away from where I live. It's a very small city. I wouldn't even call it a city. It's like a village, small town. And actually, my school is even outside Konyak, which is in Boutier Compagnie, Boutier region area. So it's a small public school where I teach. And my working days are actually just Monday and Tuesday. I work 6 hours on Monday, 6 hours on Tuesday, and then done. So initially, I used to spend one night in Konyak for a month, and so one heads up, you will really have to be very frank and very upfront about what you need and what you don't, because my my CP, so CP is conseiller pédagogique, who is like the main contact person for you. If you are in secondary, it would be your PR, prof referent. So these two people are your main contact person, to whom you can, who will give you all the information, who will be in touch with you beforehand, before you come to France. So my CP had found an Airbnb or something for me for one night, for every Monday night. And I was not really happy with that situation, because there I was supposed to pay 27 euros per night. So if you count for the entire month, 27 euros into 4 or 3, according to the working days and working weeks. Then for 2 weeks, then I negotiated and came to, like, sorry, it was 34 initially. So for 2 weeks, I paid 34, and then I came to 27. But then again, as I said, you will have to like be very firm if you are not ready to pay that much. I talked to people here in Angoulême, where I live in a high school, Interna, high school housing for the teachers, where I met other teachers and they suggested me one high school in Konya. So then I used to pay 15 euros. And now we have come to, like, after knowing the teachers in my school, we have come to this settlement that they'll drop me at the bus stop every Monday and Tuesday, Monday evening, and I'll come back to Angoulême, and I won't live there. But initially it was really difficult because they also didn't know me. Also, I would say the French, they do take some time to, accept you, to know you well. So you will have to, like, literally for some time be really nice, in the sense like accept them as well in order for them to accept you. So I would say after first 2 terms, I came to the solution where I leave 2 hours away from 2 hours early from home. So like I leave by around 5 a.m. So tomorrow morning I'll leave at 5 a.m. I'll get up at 5, sorry, I'll leave by 5:45. I'll change 2 buses and reach my school by 8:40, 8:45, and the school starts at 9. So, and then I'll leave the school by 6 and then come back by 7:30 here in the evening. But I was ready to do that sacrifice because I didn't want to pay extra for every night. It's completely subjective. But the point being, you literally have to be frank and fight for it. And this advice was given to me by one of the French teachers here. So, and it worked. So just be very firm about what you want and what you don't. So that's how I managed my housing. And since from Wednesday to Sunday I have a lot of free time, initially I traveled. My friends who were living in France, I started visiting them, staying at their place so that I didn't have to pay, and I was always like visiting, I like exploring different cities. Then I stopped for a while because the COVID cases increased and everything, so I stopped for a while. But this is how it goes. So in secondary, either you are offered a housing, or normally it's easier to find, but in primary you have to look for it on your own. But in my case, my CP, my contact person, suggested me this lycée, this high school where I got a room. So technically, you cannot really define that secondary is better and primary is not, because I have met some of the secondary assistants who were not offered a housing and they had to look for it, or there were some who pay in fact more than me. Like I have a friend, Indian friend, who is Indian assistant actually, who lives in like even smaller town in Conflans than here, like than Angoulême, and she pays 150 or 125 euros. But anything below 200 euros is actually great.
Good, yeah.
Yeah,
In the French
because
context, it is definitely.
so it's great. And yeah, so it's like you can, so while you fill up the form you get to choose academies, but you just have to be very careful that
You choose.
whatever you are choosing, those are academies and not the cities, because the names of the academies are named by the cities, like Académie de Paris, Académie de Poitiers, Montpellier,
Versailles.
Bordeaux. So when you select, if you select academies based on their names and their location, don't be under that impression that you will be, if I select Paris, I'll be living in Paris only. No, you
No.
may live
Ah,
in a small gaon, like small village, where nothing is accessible.
So I have an example of that because I had chosen the Academy of Versailles and I was placed actually in Paris. So my school was not really in Paris nor in Versailles, exactly in the middle of both. So I used to stay somewhere in Paris on the outskirts and go to Châtenay-Malabry, which was my quartier, by changing 3 buses. So it is like that. Don't go by the name. You should choose the academy well. And like, if you want to travel to a particular region, choose your academy wisely. As in, if you choose something like Paris or Versailles, you will get around that region. It's not that you will get exactly over there.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that has to be taken into consideration. And
Or-
the prices are too high. Like if you take Versailles or Paris, 400 500 euros are going into your rent and your food and your daily travel expense, because travel is very expensive. The bus passes that you get for your metro, tram, and your buses, they are around, I paid 75 euros every month for that one pass. While
you
I
get
was able to
reimbursed,
use
right?
it, Huh?
Half of it is reimbursed.
it can be, it depends. No? That all of that reimbursement is very subjective.
Oh, it's
Sometimes
very
it
sketchy.
is possible, sometimes it is not, because these French people, like Indian people, believe in a lot of paperwork and they will not consider it if your paperwork is not done or if they find something dicey about it. So that is there.
Okay,
Yes.
so shall we pass to the like the question part, if students they want to ask questions in between, one by one. Start if you have any questions.
Ma'am, I have one small PPT made just to make people aware, like,
Yeah,
properly.
yeah.
Is it okay if I share?
Yeah, sure. Hey, wait a second. Ananya has a question. Ananya.
Yeah.
Hi, Rajeshwari.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask, so when you were applying for this program, how exactly did you draft your letters to the universities? Or like, does the program when you're applying, or like, does Allianz help with the process, or
No.
you're on your own completely?
They don't help you like that.
Normally, so in the application, you will get, so I was, of course, in touch with Sujit. He helped me a lot. And what was like, normally, if you know, I think Smriti Pava,
Yes, she is from
yeah,
IFI.
IFI people, so
Yeah.
they have a live session recorded on Facebook if you see in 2020 or so, but you can always mail them. The applications are open for all, I think from September or so. If you follow the page on Instagram, you will get all the informations. You have to fill up the details. If you have any doubts about the form or anything, you can always drop a mail to Smriti Pava, or we call him JS, but I have forgotten his entire name. I'm so sorry.
Jatinder
I think
Singh.
Jatinder Singh. Yeah.
Jatinder Singh.
So you can mail them. Plus, for the letters and stuff, so you have to write lettre
It's
de
like an
motivation.
SOP. It's like an SOP.
Yeah, so lettre de motivation letter. Why do you want to apply for this program? The application, at least till last year, it was like very much elaborative, where you have to specify your loisir, as in what are your hobbies, what do you like to do, about all the certificates that you have acquired till now, because it's kind of a cultural exchange program. So they do ask for all the qualities, like all the talents that you have, and it's better to put them forward, because it's always a great idea, because that also affects their process of selection. Also, when we were talking about academies, I'll just point out to one thing, that if you have selected 3 academies, don't stay under that impression that you will get there only. It's really based on your luck, because trust me, I did not select, Academy of Poitiers was not one of my choices, and I got placed here. um, and then even in this smaller city, where it's called the capital of comics, but I visited other cities in south, like Montpellier or Nice or
Marseille.
Marseille and everything, and I got to know that Angoulême is nothing compared to that. But still, I get one benefit, that I can manage my budget, because it's not that costly to live in a small city. So yes, Ananya, you have to write the lettre de motivation, and I think if you write it once, you can give it to your teacher. He or she can just check it and correct it for you, and then you can upload it, and then you have to send the application to your teacher, who will write a recommendation kind of a thing for you, appreciation kind of a thing, where the teacher has to fill up everything, and teacher has to sign, and only then, once they send it back to you, you have to sign. If you sign first, the teacher won't be able to modify it. So you sign it later, and then you upload it. I think every detail, once you are in touch with, once you submit the application, then it's pretty simple. Miss Smriti Pava and Mr. Jatinder Singh will help you out a lot in that process. I think for me, I had to go to Allianz to put a stamp on it. I think all the assistants do have to do that. So you have to go to Allianz, and then they'll put a stamp on it. And also you have to attach the what do you call it, wherever you're studying, you need to have that certificate of bona fide certificate.
Bona fide certificate.
Yeah, or a proof of at least fee receipt, or something, that you are a student in a recognized university or college. You can be a student in any university, like in a recognized cooking school, or in a dance school, or anywhere, but it has to be like recognized university.
You have to be a student at that time.
While you are
Because
applying.
I applied in my last semester of my master's. So I attached the certificate of my last semester so as to give a proof.
So
And
can it be
then
any
the,
teacher?
Any teacher, as in generally
any
it's the
teacher who is
Alliance Francaise teacher that you have studied with. She can give you remarks, because you need 2-3 remarks from her on one of the pages of the form. That's compulsory.
I don't think it's just Alliance Francaise teacher. For me, it was, so the last level of French that you have studied, the teacher with whom you have studied. So for example, I have to take the recommendation of the teacher with whom I had studied B2 level. actually C1 level, because that was my last level of studying in French. So the teacher who last taught me has to write a recommendation letter for me.
I got it done with Mruga.
Yeah,
The
same.
one who
Okay, other students? Question? No? So,
Oh yeah, I have.
yeah, Ruthvi.
Oh, okay. So is it, thank you for just brief all the things. My question is this recruitment every year? For example,
Yeah.
I have just started and I am in A1 level,
Hmm.
but my
Yes, yes.
master will have completed in 2024. So is it every year?
It's
Yes, it
every
is every
year,
year.
and normally, so you have to have, as I said, B1 DELF
Okay.
certificate, IELTS score plus. I forgot to mention this criteria. You should be like there is age criteria, so you should be like below 35 years old.
35 years of age.
Oh, okay.
Also, till now, assistant, like you can renew it twice. Till now, like I've met some assistants who have been like renewing and renewing and renewing for like 4 or 5 years, and they were not caught. But this year they have completely changed the process, in the sense that they have introduced a new software or a way of like filling up the form, which is Adele. So those who have been renewing for like 3-4 years, now they can't. But the other option is either you get locally recruited in your school, so then you can just then take up a job there as an English teacher, and then you can live there and continue your work. Or if you find some other course or anything else, then you can do. For you, Rutvik, like if your masters will get over by 2024, either you can apply while you are in the last year of masters. The applications, the time of application is from like September to December 2nd. I think it starts
Okay.
from opens from September or so. So, or you can even do it while you are doing masters. If you want to take a sabbatical and just go and then come back, that's also possible.
Oh, okay. And my last question is, where can I find the whole like brochure or whole information?
I think you can go on the
The
page of.
website.
I will connect you. I will send you the information, as well as I will connect you to Sujit, who is like helping students for Assistana.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Aditya also
Thank
has a
you.
question. You're welcome. Aditya has a question.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, what kind of teaching experience do they expect you to have for this program? Since I'm also applying for the TEFL exam to teach English in general, so I was just wondering.
Okay. So normally they do not, like, there is no obligation to have a teaching experience, but if you
But if
have
you
it,
do
it's
have
good.
one, it's preferred generally. If you have any kind of even a small teaching experience, they do take you into account more.
Thank you. I was also wondering, I was preferring regions like Bordeaux or like Marseille, I think of both of those regions. Do you like recommend I choose those and like leave out Paris and the larger cities just because I don't
Yeah.
actually want to go to larger cities? So.
Yeah, I would suggest you, like, when you make this choice, again, just keep that in mind, that nothing is in your hands, in the sense like your choice is just a formality. They'll do so, like, first they'll transfer your application to those three choices that you have selected. They'll study your file, and then if they find it that it's suitable to our university, I mean academy, they'll keep it, or else they'll forward it to any other academy. So
More based on the demand.
I would say that if you want to select Paris, no issues. You can, like, I know one assistant, if you know Shivanshu Taire. Shivanshu is in Paris. He teaches somewhere near Versailles, but he was able to find an accommodation in his high school, and he's paying, I think, 120 or 130 euros in Paris.
Shivanshu
But
was in my
then
batch last year.
yeah, so
It
it
was the same.
depends on how you find the accommodation. But again,
Mhm.
also before you apply, just make a mental map of also travel. Like, you will have 4 vacations. if you plan to travel all the other countries as well, then it would be better if you select, northeast region, because that's easier. Like it would be easier for you to go to either Belgium or Netherlands or Luxembourg or anywhere, Croatia or anywhere.
I was thinking of like going towards Spain or Italy
Yeah.
because I've been to the other places, but I wanted to go to Italy the
You-
most. Out of all the
Yeah,
You
places.
so then
can
better
take
select
the Paris
southwest.
region as well. You can also take the Paris region because there are stations which are very frequently
Direct flights.
connected with these countries. So
Yeah.
Paris can be your window to, different countries via trains as well. And the thing is that keep your finance in mind. That's the main thing, because if you take Paris, half of your money is gone.
Yeah.
Or even around Paris, that's the case. Because
And
the thing
since
is that accommodation is really like not available half of the time. You can find cross accommodations over there, probably that can come as cheap, come across as cheap, but it's difficult to find them. That's the problem.
Since we are on the financial topic, I think for my case, I'll just tell you, since I'm in a small city, and I was like, I had made sure that like this was in my mind that I don't want to ask for money to my parents or so. So I had come with like, so normally when you come, you have to come with like a maximum like 700 to 1500 euros to manage your housing, because first month's rent, then all the groceries that you're going to do, then you have to give some money as guarantee to your landlord or stuff, like for any kind of emergency. Because normally like it depends on your academy, the salary of October is normally delayed, or you get a little less salary in October and the rest is reimbursed um in November. So you also have to, you have to pay for the bus cards and transportation cards and everything if you're buying that. So for me, I think that's the only money, like if I say from my savings, I have used only 1500 euros till now, and for the rest of the months I've been able to manage on assistant salary. And I would tell you, like, again, select wisely. The only benefit was that I live in a small city. I could, like, I'll tell you, in the October vacation I covered south of France, then in December I covered Amsterdam, Belgium, Luxembourg and Paris and everything, and then in the last vacation I covered Spain and Portugal, like almost 4 cities in Spain. So for connectivity, again, Paris would be a good window, Paris and Bordeaux. But then if you are taking flights to everywhere, which are like for 10-12 euros from Ryanair, but then also be careful about your luggage, because these airlines have this trick that they charge you 12 to 15 euros for the ticket, but for your bag they charge you 20 to 25. So ultimately it comes to like 50 euros. So, but again, I would say that in order to save money, I have traveled in Flixbuses, like 17-18 hours of Flixbuses from, like, I would give you the example of
I
last
traveled from Paris to
Lisbon
Marseille in a
Bordeaux,
Flixbus.
18 hours. So yeah.
I traveled from Marseille to Paris in a Flixbus.
Yeah, so you
15
have to
euros.
like be very flexible and
Overnight
you have
bus.
to plan all these things accordingly. Yeah, you have to have a
Like-
clear mental map of where you want to travel, and then also don't select your academies in a scattered manner, because I made this mistake that I selected, I think, Nantes, Rouen and Toulouse. So I was placed somewhere in the middle. Now this is my assumption. Again, it's completely on them. So for the renewal, I made sure that I select everything in one side, so that at least, and for us, for second time assistants, they have asked us a question that what's your choice, whether you want to be placed in a city, town, or a village, and secondary or primary, and out of these two, which one is more important? So I have marked on city, and most important is city. That's, and I this time I think I wouldn't mind if I'm placed in Paris, because I kind of have an idea how to manage my money even if I'm paying more rent. So again, that you'll know only after experiencing certain things in France. You'll experience it. I'm sure you're gonna have good and bad experiences, but again, You have to have a like
it is
clear
like
map of
the
where you want.
stipend, as such, the stipend is really, stingy. As a stipend, it is very less. But then the thing is that with that, a lot of your things are actually covered by the government itself. So you don't have to take care of those costs. Now, what if you feel that, I'm going to travel more, or my aim of being there in the vacations is not being in my city, but I want to travel all the other countries around, then you can set aside a budget from the beginning. Like, for example, if I want to go to Spain or Portugal, as she said, then you can approximately study about, what cost will be incurred and things like that. Because most of the people who become assistants in France like this, they travel a lot. Obviously, why won't you? You are in the center of 5 to 7 countries. Why will you not travel? So yes, but beware of COVID. If you get stuck in a city with COVID now,
I would,
it's difficult.
I'm
very
so
difficult.
sorry, but since you mentioned COVID, I would want to talk about two things. When you come to France, come with all the COVID medicines, because I caught COVID in January, and well, it could be because I had it during the vacation, like right after my trip, and it was at peak at that time, and I was here in my room locked up, and I have spent those 7 days of isolation just on bread and butter, because my kitchen is in sharing, so I couldn't like use it much. And unfortunately, since it was during New Year and Christmas, my contact person also did not see my mail or message. So, and the pharmacies did not have all the medicines that our Indian doctors prescribe. Plus, even if you have social security, they wouldn't give you discount on your Indian prescription, or even if it's in a physical form. So make sure that you have all those medicines, and just be covered when it comes to insurance and everything for COVID as well. That I think you will be informed by the authorities and everything. And one
Because
last
most of
thing,
the times they will not even give you your medicines if your prescription is not there. They will ask for a French doctor's prescription. So keep that also in mind.
yeah.
One
And
thing is that you earn the money, good, you travel, good, but please keep your health in place. Because if you fall ill or anything happens, God forbid,
you're not gonna
all
get
your
a-
money is going to go in that paying that medicine and insurance. That's for sure.
just a simple thing, I did not have oximeter, and I spent 26 euros on an oximeter. So my expenses for COVID were like around 70 euros, and I couldn't even get all the medicines. So that, and one last thing is like, cooking is a life skill. So please learn how to cook. And if you please don't like, it's a life skill. It's not about a girl or a boy, like man or woman. But here, if you know how to cook, again, yes, coming to grocery budget, that's where I'm coming. If you know how to cook, you will spend less. If you don't know how to cook, you will go to grocery store, you will buy packaged foods, which like every meal, like a salad would also be of 2-3 euros. And if you are placed in Paris or like Bordeaux or such big cities, you may find those wheat flour and stuff. But here I cannot find any Indian spices or anything. So take it. Yeah, so grocery budget monthly, again, as I said, it depends on you, but you can keep it like as Khushali said, every week. If you are like, I make sure that my grocery does not increase more than 10 euros or 12 euros per week. So I have been like, I bought some dal, lentils and everything from Paris, because I was dumb enough to not to bring it from India. I rather packed clothes, and not proper winter clothes, those sleeveless tops which I have hardly worn here. So make sure that you keep one bag of like food items, pressure cooker if you want, and all those things. Uh, and then you will spend less on groceries. So like for me, it's like 40 to 50 euros per month. But if you know cooking, then you spend definitely less, because you rather buy vegetables and fruits and not packaged foods. so you spend less.
It's also on where you're placed, like if you're as she said, she couldn't find any floor or something like that. While in Versailles, where I was placed, I was actually near Paris. So we had these veg sections as well. So it was
Yeah,
kind of easy to find something near to, Indian flour or wheat or whatever. So that's also there. And I would like to point out about the weather. Please take into consideration what region you are taking. Accordingly, please ask the previous assistants or some friends of your assistants or acquaintances what kind of clothes do you actually need. Especially it is, this French weather is very dicey. Sometimes it will be sunny in the morning, in the evening it will rain very badly. It's that dicey. And please keep a jacket with you, which is actually a proper jacket and not a fancy jacket, because the temperatures can go down and you will be freezing, because we are not used to actually that kind of a weather. Being Indians, we are not actually used to them.
Don't carry your Indian jackets, just carry one or two for initially, and then keep a budget aside, buy it from here. That's what I did. I
a good
bought
option
a puffer jacket,
I can give
good
is,
puffer jacket, and it saves me from all kinds of cold.
or I'll give you a good option. You can go to Decathlon. Okay, if you are in a city that has Decathlon, go to that section of jackets which go work from 1 to 10 degrees in the winters. Those jackets actually work. I used my jacket every single day when I was in France, because the cold was actually cold.
Okay, is there any other questions? It's almost an hour.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions? No? Thank you so much, Rajeshwari. Thank you so much, Kushali. Asad. Hi, Asad. After
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Asad.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Tahira, I didn't greet you. I couldn't unmute myself when you started. I wanted to know, is it possible to get employment on the other days when you're not working? Not at all.
No. So, I mean, you can, but your contract and your visa states that you can only work in school. But other than that, if you employment in the sense that if they pay you in cash, then definitely. But what you can, other jobs that you can, if you want to do, what you can do is either babysitting or teach English or French
Au
to
pair.
au pair. But au pair is again a different type of program. Where one of the assistants who has renewed is in au pair. Au pair is like you live with a French family and you take care of their kids. And so it's like more detailed French experience that you get to live, because you are with that family all the time. You accompany the family wherever they go and all those things. But if you are not in but au pair can be really difficult, because then at times you cannot have your own programs. If your French family is planning to do something, let's say an activity A, and if you have an activity B, you cannot really do that, so you are kind of restricted in that way. But you can, yes, definitely you can give tuitions, you can and you can charge like per hour 8 to 10 euros to teach English. Even in, like in my school, one of the kids, one of the parents, they had asked me to give English tuitions to their kids. But so that can happen as well. So yeah, tutoring, babysitting, these are the options. Anywhere where you get paid in cash, it's fine. But if you want to work in like in markets, supermarkets, or in restaurant as waiter or waitress, that could be difficult if they don't pay you in cash. So you officially
because legally you are in France on this contract.
You're on work visa.
The bank, anything in the bank works on the arrêté de nomination that you have. It's the document you get when you get selected. So that's right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have come to end of our session. Thank you so much, everyone. And we are going to have another seminar about Erasmus program very soon. I will update you about that program. All right, have a good day and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much.